Hey, happy Sunday, everybody. As promised, here's your second update of my Message in the Bottle video series. Well, Message in a Bottle. That was the name of the first episode, but do you think it's a good name for the series? Yeah. We come to things like your opinion at the end of the video, don't worry. Uh, so let me tell you what's been happening. Uh, okay, well, first of all, I'd like to start off with some bad news. As of, oh God, I don't even know what time it was really. As of not still quite sunup in Holland, so still not quite 8 o'clock because the sun comes up very late here during the winter. Uh, Myself and the other residents of the ADM were forcibly evicted by security personnel and police. The reason why we were evicted and was that on the Tuesday we had a court case to see if we had a case to go to the UN about our issues to deal with human rights. Now the thing is if we won that court case, it probably would have slowed down the eviction process, and if the UN had decided that the case that we were going to them with was a case that they wanted to investigate, it could have slowed down the eviction by several months or even a couple of years. And I think that rather than doing that, what the Gemeente Amsterdam chose to do was to get rid of the problem before it could take root. So before the court case happened, they made sure to get everybody out of their caravans and off the terrain. Now, a lot of people were just forced off. A lot of people were hurt by the police and security. There were 12 arrests. There were a number of people who apparently got beaten. Okay, however, these things didn't happen where I was at the time, so these horrible things did not befall me. But apparently, a lot of people's caravans and personal effects got ran over by a tractor or a crane. They basically turned the property into some place that they could say was dangerous or we couldn't live there anymore to prevent us from maybe going back and taking it in the night or something. I mean, there are all sorts of tricks that both the Gemeente and the squatters here have. I mean, this was a well practiced game throughout the 70s, 80s, and 90s here in the Netherlands. But, anyways, so yeah, we were all kicked out in a big rush, and I had to leave some of my possessions behind. That's how rushed we were to get out of there. Uh, and then I spent the rest of that day across the street protesting. Now, I have a short little clip of some of what I've seen. None of it is particularly dramatic. It was just me across the street, filming the security guards and, the police presence and not really seeing anything that was too entertaining. And now, if you want to have a look at some of the stuff that happened, I think they might have put up a video or two on the www weareadm.com, I think, the ADM website. I mean, I know that some of the videos that were taken of the people getting beaten up or of people being violently removed from their homes are not going to be up there because then it may not be viable as evidence in the cases to come later. But all I know is that a lot of people were made homeless, and a lot of them are also pretty pissed off. And I'm one of them. So I'm planning out for this week, finding myself a lawyer. I've been talking with a few friends of mine. I have one friend, he used to work in banking, so knows a few things that way, and he gave me some good advice on some people I should go talk to. And a neighbor of my friend Niels, who gave me permission to dox him, so it's not really doxing him, she also knows a lawyer who likes interesting cases, and unless I miss my guess, my case is really interesting. So I would like to go talk to her and hopefully this other legal group and get some good advice and maybe some representation started, because if, well, here's the thing, I can't say if, because this thing was blown up. I mean, prior to the 7th of January, I couldn't actually say that any of my human rights had been violated, but as of the 7th of January, my rights had been. I mean, you may not know it, but it actually states in the Declaration of Human Rights that that you cannot evict people from their homes in the middle of winter or inclement weather. So yeah, where would you put the 7th of January if you had, like, the Four Seasons wheel? The 7th of January, go put it on one of those four pie pieces: spring, summer, autumn, winter. 7th of January, I think you'd put it somewhere in the middle of winter, wouldn't you? Well, I think the Gemeente Amsterdam also knew that particular rule, but because, yeah, if this whole UN court case thing went off, they wouldn't be able to take the land back. That's why they chose to get rid of us. Now, if you're wondering, well, can't the UN just send us back in? No, because apparently now that the land has been given back to the owner, it would be a violation of the owner's rights to then tell him that he couldn't have it, and we were allowed back in. So it's okay to break the rights of, let's say 150 poor people, and 150 is only a guess. I don't know how many people were actually there at the time. But it's okay to break the rights of 150 poor people for one rich person. Just so you know. Anyways, but that's the reason I'm going to be talking to a lawyer myself. Now, fortunately, I've been asking for my human rights during this whole fiasco, so I do feel that I might be on a bit more solid ground than a few other people, or maybe my case will lend more strength to their cases. I'm not really sure. First, I'll have to talk to the lawyers and see what they say. Now, I'm also pretty sure that you're wondering, how am I getting by? Well, fortunately, I have good friends who have couches and are still single men, so they've been putting me up, or putting up with me, I'm not really sure. But yeah, I've been managing to stay warm, safe, dry, and well fed. And where the hell is my lighter? There's my lighter. It's always in the back pocket, yeah. But I've been warm, healthy, and well fed, so don't worry about me. Things are going okay now. I mean, even the other squats around Amsterdam that are part of the big squatting community have been opening up their doors to give temporary housing to the ADM'ers. Now, I am relying on my friends at the moment, but I'm also going to be taking a look at that because, yeah, I find that for things like sleeping on your friend's couch, the less you do it, the more you can get away with it. Important lesson out there for those of you, who are thinking about like these radical extreme lifestyles where, issues of housing can be, somewhat dubious at times. Yeah, just a little tip for you. But anyways, so that's basically been the week that I've been having. I mean, while I've been at my friend's place, we've been having fun. My friend and I were playing a lot of Soul Calibur, talking about the good old days, just chilling for a bit while I was dealing with the fact that, yeah, all of this stuff has happened and now I've got all this other work to do. I mean, really, it would have been easier for me if the Amsterdam Gemeente had just listened to me the first time I sent in that letter and said, you know what, you're right, here, take this, now shut up. Because now I got to open my mouth, and yeah, I've always worried that if I opened up my mouth, I'd get the bullet in the back of my head. Because, sometimes I say things that, in retrospect, maybe I was right to say them, but, you're not, yeah, being right is not necessarily the same as what is needed. I'll just say it like that. But anyways, so yeah, my life has gotten picked up and interesting, and here's the thing: it's like I've mentioned this in my last video, I think, about like the idea: do we really have human rights? I mean, here in the West. Well, I guess I'm going to find out, eh? Anyways, I hope you guys are at least doing well, and I hope the new year, you know, is being kind to you. And I guess next time I have something to report, I'll make an update. I'll post it on YouTube and write it around Facebook and let you all know. Now, before everybody leaves, there's something I'd like to point out to my family and my friends who intend to keep on watching me as I make and create these videos. The first thing is don't forget to like me. Don't forget to subscribe. And don't forget to share. Anyways, have a lot of fun, guys. I'll see you next week, and hopefully I'll be able to tell you where this is all going. Good day.